Sonya Blade, Field Operations Report Classified, Earth Realm Defense Command. Phase 1, Target, Kano, high-value target and commander of the Black Dragon Criminal Syndicate, was tracked by Lieutenant Sonya Blade and her Special Forces strike team to a classified offshore location. Subject exfiltrated via maritime vessel and made landfall on a remote island later identified as the site of an interdimensional combative engagement, Shang Tsung's Mortal Kombat tournament. Upon insertion, the squad was ambushed by hostile indigenous forces, combatants loyal to the rogue warlock Shang Tsung. With her squad compromised and the tactical situation deteriorating, Lieutenant Blade negotiated under duress to enter the tournament in exchange for her unit's safety. Tsung reneged on the agreement, resulting in the Kia status of her unit. Following Shang Tsung's operational defeat at the hands of Liu Kang, Sonya regrouped with civilian asset Johnny Cage and former HVT Kano. Despite operational risk and personal history, she formed a temporary coalition for combat survival. The trio engaged the Outworld bio-weapon known as Guro on a structurally unsound bridge overlooking a pit-class chasm. During the battle, the island entered a state of critical failure. Lieutenant Governor Blade and Kano were captured and extradited to the Outworld dimension by Tsung under orders from his superior, Emperor Shao Kahn. Phase 2. While held in enemy territory, Lieutenant Blade initiated covert communications and successfully transmitted a distress signal. Major Jax Briggs conducted a high-risk infiltration into Outworld to recover the asset. There, he allied with other Earth Realm operatives and intelligence assets to uncover intel on Shao Kahn's long-term objective, a full-scale interdimensional invasion of Earth Realm. Lieutenant Governor Blade was extracted by Major Briggs, and during exfiltration, apprehended the HVT Kano. Upon re-entry to Earth Realm, Subject Kano escaped custody and returned to Outworld, status, fugitive. Phase 3. Lieutenant Governor Blade and Major Briggs submitted a formal threat advisory to National Command regarding an imminent Outworld incursion. The warning was dismissed. As contingency, both officers initiated autonomous defense protocols. Upon commencement of Khan's invasion, Sonya was one of a select few deemed soul resistant by Elder God protection, thus remaining active while most of Earth's civilian and military populations were neutralized. She engaged Kano atop a high-altitude structure near Khan's fortress. During a protracted rooftop engagement, Sonya sustained injuries and lured Kano into overcommitting. Feigning incapacitation, she executed a low-angle tactical leg sweep, leveraging gravity to terminate Kano via forced ejection from the rooftop. Subject was presumed Kia, last seen plummeting while clutching a severed lock of Lieutenant Blade's hair. Phase 4. Following Khan's retreat, Lieutenant Blade was assigned to Earthrealm's Outer World Investigation Agency (OIA). Her mission: neutralize residual Black Dragon activity. Remaining operative Jarek had escaped into the Edenian sector. Blade and Briggs deployed under Raiden's guidance, engaging in a joint operation alongside Liu Kang. Objective: repel fallen Elder God Shinnok, liberate Edenia, and prevent the dimensional breach into Earth. Mission parameters were achieved with minimum casualties. Phase 5. Years later, Blade received classified intel that Earth Realm operatives Cyrax and Kenshi were Mia in Outworld. Concurrently, intel confirmed formation of the Deadly Alliance Shang Tsung plus Quan Kai and the termination of Shao Kahn and Liu Kang. Blade responded to Raiden's recall protocol and redeployed to Outworld for reconnaissance and retrieval. Engagement with hostile forces resulted in her termination alongside Jax, Cage, Katana, and Kung Lao. Status: Kia, confirmed by eyewitnesses. Phase 6. Enemy Commander Onaga, newly resurrected, utilized necromantic technology to revive and enslave Sonya and fallen allies via soul binding. Under the spell, Sonya was classified as a hostile until Ermac, in collaboration with remaining Earth Realm forces, successfully nullified Onaga and performed spiritual liberation procedures. All affected assets were restored to standard operating condition. Phase 7. Assigned to monitor cyber-terrorist sector and the Tekunin faction, Sonya led a mobile command detachment into Arctica. During recon, she engaged unknown warrior Tavin, mistakenly flagged as an enemy combatant. After a brief skirmish, Tavin was cleared and Sonya withdrew. Lieutenant Governor Blade later deployed to Pyramid of Argus under Raiden's Forces of Light. During the mass convergence event known as Armageddon, Sonya engaged multiple threats. Confirmed visual, hand-to-hand with Operative Frost. Termination confirmed when Johnny Cage inadvertently launched her from the pyramid. Final status, bisected in battle. Presumed Kia. Phase 8. While on continued pursuit of Kano, interdimensional anomalies occurred. Sonya encountered and detained Catwoman in a cross-realm skirmish. Encountered hostile entities including Baraka, Captain Marvel, Green Lantern, and Joker, many of whom were affected by a mental warfare agent later dubbed Combat Rage. Sonya engaged multiple Earth and DC adversaries. During a delusional flashback caused by the Rage, she mistakenly attacked Jax, believing him to be Kano. Raiden intervened, resolving the engagement. Sonya regrouped, and per command orders, was forced into a reluctant joint operation with Kano due to overlapping mission objectives. Operational mishap during teleportation deployment caused displacement to Oa, resulting in capture by Joker. Following consolidation of Earthrealm and DC factions, Sonya participated in the Unified Combat Protocol, confronting Catwoman once again before being rendered unconscious. Final appearance, post-battle, during reality stabilization phase. Sonya Blade. Rank: Lieutenant Special Forces OIA Operative. Specializations: Covert Operations, Martial Combat, Interdimensional Recon, HVT Elimination. Status: Deceased multiple incarnations, restored in various timelines. End of report, secure file #mk-sf-sb-010. Access restricted to clearance level 9 or higher. Earthrealm Defense Command, Guardian Initiative. Operation Dragon's Gate, Subject. Lieutenant Sonya Blade first makes contact with Allied operative Johnny Cage during a briefing by hostile entity Shang Tsung regarding the tournament parameters. During the intel session, Cage exhibits unprofessional behavior, attempting unsolicited interaction with Lieutenant Blade, which she dismisses. Following Cage's confirmed eliminations of targets Reptile and Baraka, Blade breaks off to resume her primary objective: locate and extract missing unit member Major Jax Briggs, last known to be held in enemy territory. Cage re-engages Sonya atop an elevated structure designated the Pit. Despite repeated non-compliance with standard conduct protocols, Cage continues pursuit, prompting Blade to initiate a physical engagement. Result: Blade neutralized by Cage in unarmed combat. Shortly after, hostile target Kano executes a surprise assault, incapacitating Cage and initiating attempted lethal force on Blade. Cage regains footing after surviving a fall by securing ledge support, returns to theater, and neutralizes Kano. Blade, though initially adversarial toward Cage, recalibrates her perception and acknowledges his assistance. Kano successfully extracts during post-conflict debrief. Blade resumes objective and locates Major Briggs in confinement within subterranean hostile facility, codename Goro's Lair. Extraction attempt is compromised by the appearance of primary antagonist Shang Tsung, who forces engagement with Sub-Zero. Blade secures victory. When requesting immediate combat with Tsung, God-tier Acid Raiden intervenes with redirected orders via temporal intelligence from a future transmission. Blade, refusing to stand down, initiates offensive against Raiden. Raiden instructs Blade to shield optics, deploying high-intensity flash burst to disorient enemy forces. Blade uses this opportunity to exfiltrate Briggs. Post-extraction, while establishing communication for evac, Sonya is intercepted by dual hostiles Katana and Jade. Engages in 2 vs 1 close quarters combat and emerges victorious. Extraction Hilo arrives but is destroyed by Tsung via projectile pyrokinesis. Tsung then orders Sonya to engage Kano a second time. Blade subdues Kano and attempts apprehension, but Tsung extracts all hostiles. Raiden, Cage, and Liu Kang regroup with Blade and Briggs. Raiden reveals divine classification and Earth Realm threat assessment. Medical assistance rendered to Jax. During final tournament phase, Blade witnesses return of spectral combatant Scorpion delivering Sub-Zero remains, and Liu Kang's operational success in neutralizing Tsung. Participates in post-op victory assembly. During follow-on engagement at Wuxi Academy, Jax is ambushed and incapacitated. Upon recovery, learns that Blade has been captured. Recon element consisting of Jax, Cage, and Raiden locates Blade at high-risk site codenamed Deadpool, guarded by Shiva and combatants. Hostiles neutralized. Blade extracted. Team divides for recon of unknown energy transmission. Blade and Jax proceed to secondary target zone, Soul Chamber. Unexpected presence of presumed Kia Sub-Zero reported. Sub-Zero identified as younger sibling, pursuing truth behind Elder's death. Tactical update interrupted by emergent hostile, or MAC. Jax engages, but suffers catastrophic limb loss due to telekinetic assault. Blade stabilizes Jax with combat-grade energy cauterization and initiates medevac call. Sub-Zero neutralizes Ermac, then directs Blade to Earth Realm portal. Sub-Zero RTBs for separate engagement. Blade evacuates Jax solo under protest. Blade remains off-grid until Earth Realm command meeting led by Raiden. During strategy session, Raiden receives threat vision, Solnado. Blade remains on standby with allied operatives during confirmed destruction of Solnado by Nightwolf. Sonya accompanies the Earth Warriors when they are attacked by Sindel and the Lin Kuei cyborgs. She attacks Sindel after Smoke is killed, but is struck down with a single kick to the face. She however, survives the onslaught, along with Johnny Cage. Sonya can be heard calling for Raiden. Raiden and Liu Kang return from their visit with the Elder Gods, and are informed of everything that transpired. Liu Kang tends to her and Johnny Cage's injuries, while Raiden leaves for the Netherrealm. Sonya arrives with Johnny Cage, after Raiden accidentally mortally wounds Liu Kang. Sonya and Cage attempt to stop Shao Kahn from entering Earth Realm, but are both easily defeated. After Raiden and the Elder Gods destroy Shao Kahn, Sonya and Cage come to Raiden's side. As Raiden laments the terrible cost of their victory, an equally grief-stricken Sonya remarks that casualties are inevitable in war. Determined to rebuild Earth Realm, Raiden teleports himself, Sonya, Cage, and Liu Kang's corpse away. Mortal Kombat X comic series. Sonya was briefly knocked unconscious while facing Shinnok in the Jinsei chamber, and regained consciousness in Johnny Cage's arms after he defeated Shinnok. Amazed at Johnny's selflessness during the battle, Sonya complimented him, admitting she had never seen him like that. When Johnny asked her out to dinner and a movie after the war was over, Sonya agreed, as long as it wasn't one of his movies. In the final hours of the Netherrealm War, Sonya led a team of Special Forces soldiers accompanied by Raiden to assault Quan Chi's fortress in the Netherrealm. While Sonya fought the Necromancer himself and her soldiers fought losing battles against his revenants, Sub-Zero, Jax and Scorpion, Raiden used his divine power, which mingled with Quan Chi's dark sorcery, to revive the three and free them from Quan Chi's control. 4 months later, Sonya visits Johnny's condo in Los Angeles, though is annoyed by Johnny answering the door in only a towel. Inside Johnny's apartment, Sonya is silent as Johnny talks her ear off before finally shutting him up when she reveals she's pregnant from their romantic encounter months ago. The two get married, and Sonya gives birth to their daughter, Cassandra Cage, months later, and while Sonya attempts to adjust to married life and motherhood, she remains a devoted member of Special Forces. Sonya assigns Kenshi to infiltrate the Red Dragon crime syndicate for Special Forces before Cassie was born, and when he contacts Sonya to inform her he needs an exit strategy, Sonya prepares to head out and rescue him when Johnny catches her. Johnny asks her if someone else can handle it, reminding her it is their daughter's birthday, though Sonya refuses, saying she is responsible for putting Kenshi in his situation. Sonya admits she does not want to miss Cassie's birthday, but believes her daughter will one day understand that duty requires sacrifices. In northern Pakistan, Sonya fights the Red Dragon alongside Kenshi, along with several local terrorist cells hired by the clan to help them kill Kenshi. Sonya contacts their extraction and the two rush for their escape. When Kenshi spots a female terrorist wielding an RPG to shoot down their escape helicopter, Sonya prepares to kill her when she sees the woman has her own child with her. With tears in her eyes and a brief moment of hesitation, Sonya kills the terrorist, allowing her and Kenshi to escape. Years later, Sonya, alongside Johnny Cage, is shown by Raiden when he mentions the few Earth Realm warriors left. Sonya Blade is revealed to have become a colonel in the Special Forces and is first seen physically heading to speak with Kotal Khan in the Special Forces base, and is reminded by one of the grunts of the general's orders to not start an interrealm war. Sonya retorts that she has a mother's touch before being told that her daughter Cassie has snuck off the base again. The scientist offers to send a team to get Cassie, but Sonya declines, saying that Johnny can deal with their daughter, before dismissing the scientist as she goes to confront Kotal Khan and his warriors Devora and Aaron Black. Kotal makes his case for Earthrealm to aid him in defeating Melina, but Sonya interprets this as threats towards Earthrealm and tells Kotal to fight his own battles. When Sonya turns her back on the Khan and declares they are done, this enrages Devora, who attempts to attack Sonya. Sonya easily counters and lands a hard kick on the insect woman's jaw. Sonya draws her gun on Devora while her fellow soldiers charge in, weapons on Kotal and Aaron Black. Sonya has Devora pinned down and is threatening to put a bullet in her head if Kotal doesn't call off his attack. Devora is unfazed and Kotal is too enraged to stop, but Raiden's arrival causes bolts of lightning to strike all combatants, Sonya included, as he orders the fighting to stop. After Kotal and his followers retreat, Sonya snaps at Raiden that she had the situation covered, but the Thunder God only asks her of her daughter's whereabouts. Later, Sonya arrives at the illegal deathmatch club where Cassie had been and finds her daughter's cell phone with several missed calls from her father and a snapshot of Aaron Black. When one of her Special Forces soldiers confirm the Black Dragon's involvement, a furious Sonya tells him to call Johnny and get ready to head for Outworld before proclaiming Kotal Khan to be a dead man. Sonya manages to get a shot on a weakened Kotal Khan after he burned Reiko and Melina's hideout to the ground, before demanding to know where her daughter is. Sonya reloads, reiterating her demand for her daughter and warning Kotal Khan that her next shot goes between his eyes if he doesn't answer. Reptile comes to the fallen Emperor's defense, infuriated at Sonya's accusations, and tries to strike her with his tongue. The attack is blocked by Johnny Cage, who begins calming everyone down. After Kotal Khan's wound is treated by Devora, he refuses to speak to Sonya, with Cage not blaming him, causing Sonya to groan in annoyance. After Johnny explains the situation and Kotal Khan realizes that Aaron Black is the true perpetrator who instigated Cassie and Jackie's kidnapping with the Black Dragon, Devora comments to an indifferent Sonya that Outworld was frustrated by the poor meeting and believes Black to be acting on that. Sonya only states that she knew one of Kotal's warriors was behind it, with Kotal responding that Black did not get permission from him. Johnny tries to calm Sonya down, but she just snaps at him to get Aaron Black's location and to stop running his mouth. After Kotal Khan gives them Black's location and sends Reptile and Devora to accompany them, Sonya decides to let the Emperor deal with Aaron Black after retrieving her daughter, saying he is Outworld's problem. Sonya follows Devora in the lead as the group explores the Outworld jungles in search of Aaron Black and the girls. When Devora kills and devours a small lizard, Sonya expresses her disgust at both the act and Devora's offer to regurgitate to share with her. When Sonya overhears Johnny betting with Reptile on her snapping first, she warns Johnny not to tempt her. When Johnny tries to get her attention, Sonya at first waves him off until he points out he's found their kidnapper, and Sonya sees a bloody and beaten Aaron Black tied to a treetop. Unfazed by the mercenary's state, she orders him to be cut down so they can find out where the girls are. After Aaron Black tells the group of the battle with the Red Dragon, Kano's escape and Cassie's execution of Mavado, Sonya is impressed by her daughter's fortitude and is convinced she's still alive. Aaron Black then tells them that the girls were taken to Shang Tsung's island, with Sonya noting that Tsung is dead before asking who's on his island, with Black revealing the girls to be captives of the Cleric of Chaos, Havoc. Sonya alongside Johnny and their Special Forces troops observe Kotal Khan's reprimanding of Aaron Black for the kidnapping of the girls. When Kotal asks Black how they are supposed to repair this offense to Earthrealm, Sonya demands they be given safe passage to Shang Tsung's island and that they pray they find the girls alive, but begins to break down when confronting the possibility that Cassie may have already been killed. Johnny offers her a comforting hand, but Sonya slaps it away, telling Johnny to fuck off. Sonya listens to Kotal Khan explain his own recent losses before the Emperor promises them his swiftest ship and a battalion of his soldiers to accompany them. When Sonya asks what the catch is, Kotal Khan tells her they must survive the coming dawn and reveals the approaching Shokan army prepared to avenge Goro's defeat. As Kotal Khan explains his strategy to hold off the coming Shokan siege, Sonya compliments his strategy but questions how many he is expecting. When Kotal admits he doesn't know how many to expect, Sonya declares the city a death trap and questions Kotal Khan's strategy if as many as 100,000 Shokan arrive. When Devora announces that the Shogun have been spotted over the mountain, Sonya questions one of her soldiers, who tells her all he could see was the dust kicked up by the approaching army. Outside, a shocked Kotal Khan announces they need a new plan and Sonya asks how many Shogun. The Emperor admits less than he was expecting, but the Shogun are joined by the Oni warlords. Sonya prepares barricades throughout the city and as her team is securing the last one, she contacts Johnny, who is stationed with snipers along the city's walls. After confirming Johnny is in position, she ceases communications and waits for Devora to attempt to negotiate with the Shogun. When the negotiations fail, Sonya calls Johnny again just as an Oni warlord attacks the perimeter wall. Sonya's communication with Johnny is cut off as the Oni warlord smashes the wall and Sonya is left calling out to an unresponsive Johnny, pleading with him to respond. As Kotal Khan's warriors scramble to confront the Shogun forces, Sonya keeps trying to contact Johnny on her communicator when one of her lieutenants calls out in warning to her. Cursing Outworld, Sonya turns and confronts a charging Oni warlord, ordering her soldier back before firing an energy beam from her wrist gauntlet. The attack temporarily staggers the Oni before it retaliates with a swing of its battle axe, bisecting the lieutenant in half, showering Sonya in his blood. Sonya manages to escape the warlord and runs into one of her men, who is shell-shocked by the violence and reminded of the days of the Netherrealm War. Sonya orders him to collect himself and work with her, lest they both get killed. The soldier snaps back to attention and attempts to cover his colonel from the returned Oni warlord with his handguns, but meets a swift end at the Ona's axe when it splits his head in two, much to Sonya's horror. Sonya dodges the monster's follow-up attack but is punched into a nearby scaffolding. When Sonya hears the Oni laughing, she fires another energy blast into its face, the beam seeming to fell the monster, much to Sonya's disbelief, when she sees a blood-covered Kotal Khan brandishing his sword. The Emperor greets Sonya and helps her up, and the colonel mourns her fallen men and Sonya. Just as Kotal Khan is promising Sonya he will help her recover her daughter and get vengeance, both hear Johnny Cage calling out to them and see him fleeing from the hordes of the Shogun, straight for them. Sonya fights alongside Johnny against the Shogun, stealing a spear from one of the Shogun to use against them. After Kotal Khan kills King Gorbak and sends the Shogun horde into retreat, Sonya and Johnny observe Kotal with his warriors, and after Johnny comments that it's looking more like the Emperor's last stand, Sonya tells them to get the girls, get out of Outworld and go home when Johnny collapses from the toll of his injuries. Sonya checks his wound and begins applying pressure, urging Johnny to keep talking for once to keep him awake and from going into shock. Johnny suddenly apologizes for Cassie's behavior, explaining he was the same way at his age, and Sonya jokes about a teenage girl with the mind of Johnny Cage being reassuring, but when Johnny suddenly starts to talk about not making it out of Outworld, Sonya calls him by his first name and tells him they're in this together. When the Black Dragon clan arrives to aid Kotal Khan and his forces in repelling the Shogun hordes, Sonya refuses to fight alongside Kano and waits back at Kotal's palace while the two forces clash outside the city. Conflicted over her choice, Sonya asks Johnny if she made the right call and Johnny tells her he is not sure, as it is a no-win situation no matter what happens and reminds Sonya that she can't save everyone in every realm. Johnny comforts Sonya and tells her to focus on saving what matters the most, their daughter and her friend. Sonya hugs Johnny and thanks him, but their tender moment is ruined when a massive explosion outside the city catches their attention. After Kotal Khan successfully sways the Shogun back to his side and attacks Kano for his involvement with Cassie and Jackie's kidnapping, Sonya arrives with Johnny just as Tremor threatens to bring the palace down, shooting him in the shoulder and arm with a shotgun, while joking to Kotal about his friends. Sonya holds Johnny back when Kano makes a snide remark about their daughter as he is being carted away and she then asks Kotal if he plans to execute the Black Dragon members. Kotal denies this, saying Kano must answer for crimes beyond Outworld and plans to turn him over to Sonya. Sonya thanks the Emperor and tells him they still need to find the girls. Kotal agrees and reveals he has the ship prepared and will join them as they sail that night for Shang Tsung's island. When Kotal Khan says that defeating Reiko and the Red Dragon will require their own alliance, Sonya agrees. Hours later though, Sonya is becoming impatient as she watches Kotal's servants continue to load provisions and weapons onto the ship, wasting hours she believes the girls can't afford to lose. Sonya says it will go to waste, just like their time, And after Johnny reminds her that they haven't been to Sung's island in years and points out that she'd take her own time on a mission like this if it wasn't their daughter involved. Sonya admits she may and is frustrated with how long they've been stuck in Zunkara because of the Shokan uprising, and briefly wonders what the Red Dragon could have done to Cassie in that time. Johnny tries to comfort her, but Sonya's worry turns to anger when she sees Kotal's servants loading a crate with a black dragon logo on its side. She demands to see it and, ignoring Johnny's concerns, tears it open to reveal a black dragon WMD. Just then Kotal Khan arrives, asking if there is a problem. When Johnny reminds her that Kotal is their only way to the island and out of Zunkara, Sonya plays it cool and says she was just making sure the crates were properly packed. Kotal Khan then offers to show them to their quarters, and as the three walk away, Sonya whispers to Johnny that they will talk about what they just saw later. On the ship, Sonya is annoyed to discover that Kotal Khan has bunked her and Johnny in the same cabin. She chooses to sleep on the floor during the trip, ignoring Johnny's attempt to get her into bed. When Johnny questions where they went wrong, Sonya believes they were wrong from the start, and after reminiscing over their initial romance, Sonya reveals her execution of the female terrorist to Johnny, who is shocked she would kill a woman in front of her own child. Sonya admits a part of her believed she was setting the little girl free, and in a way saw the mother and child as herself and Cassie. After Action Report, Special Forces Operative File, Sonya Blade, Operation Revenant Recovery. Following intel on the necromancer Quan Kai, General Sonya Blade initiated a recruitment push, leveraging Major Jax Briggs' prior experience as a revenant to support the operation. Despite prior tension, stemming from Blade authorizing Jax's daughter, Corporal Jackie Briggs, for active duty, Jax agreed to rejoin the unit for this high-priority mission. Upon successful execution of the extraction mission was compromised when Hanzo Hasashi, Scorpion, operating under independent command, breached containment. Blade attempted suppression, but was overpowered by Hasashi's Shirai Ryu subordinates and forced to watch as Hasashi executed Quan Kai. During this act, Quan Kai succeeded in initiating a secondary fail-safe, the release of Elder God Shinnok from his amulet. Shinnok then incapacitated Johnny Cage and extracted him as a hostage. Blade sustained severe trauma and lost consciousness during this engagement. Operation Divine Reprisal. Following Shinnok's defeat at the hands of Commander Cassie Cage, Sonya Blade led a joint special forces raid on the Sky Temple. High-value targets Shinnok and Devora were successfully secured. Blade remained by Johnny Cage's side post-op, offering commendation and re-establishing cohesion in the Cage family unit. Mortal Kombat 11 Timeline. Operation Nether Siege. General Sonya Blade deployed alongside Commanders Cassie Cage and Jackie Briggs to execute a critical strike against the Netherrealm Cathedral. Raiden provided diversionary support. During the operation, hostile Revenant Liu Kang initiated a structural collapse. With escape no longer viable, Blade remained behind and authorized a full detonation of the structure, sacrificing herself to complete the objective and ensure unit survival. Casualties. 1 Kia, General Sonya Blade. Psychological fallout recorded for Commander Cassie Cage and Senior Advisor Johnny Cage. Temporal anomaly contingency. Following the emergence of chronal disturbances caused by Chronica, a younger version of Sonya Blade, circa initial Earth-realm defense operations, was time-shifted into the present. Initial psychological conflict observed upon discovering her future with Johnny Cage and learning of Commander Cassie Cage's existence. Despite friction with young Johnny, she expressed admiration toward her daughter's leadership and was proud of her own future legacy. Upon discovery of her future self's death, the younger Blade wrongly assessed Commander Cage's actions as betrayal, unaware the death was an authorized sacrifice. Hostile operatives led by Kano captured Sonya and younger Johnny Cage during a recon patrol. While in captivity, Blade was forced into gladiatorial combat with a pre-Revenant Cabal unaware of Kano's manipulation. She secured victory, but the situation escalated when Kano leveraged younger Cage as a hostage, threatening Cassie's existence via temporal causality. Displaying high-stress decision-making under duress, Blade exploited the paradox. By executing the past version of Kano, the present version would be erased. She neutralized the younger Kano with lethal force. Present Kano was immediately erased from the timeline. The mission was resolved without temporal contamination. Post-op reports indicate increasing respect between younger Sonya and Johnny Cage, with early signs of interpersonal cohesion forming. Operation Soul Bastion engagement. Jarez, Kronika's enforcer class golem, engaged Sonya and Commander Cassie. During the confrontation, Jarez revealed Shinnok's relation to Kronika and intent to eliminate Cassie as retribution. Blade engaged Jarez in close quarters combat and temporarily incapacitated him. She issued a direct threat warning against further action toward her daughter. Upon realizing his regenerative immortality, she acknowledged reports from Liu Kang and Kung Lao confirming Jarez anomaly status. Immediate evacuation was ordered and successfully executed before Jarez could reinitiate hostilities. MK11 Aftermath Campaign. Operation Kronika's Keep, Final Phase. Awaiting rendezvous with Shiva and allied Shokan forces, General Sonya coordinated final staging from allied naval deployment. Upon portal activation, expected reinforcements defected. Shokan units declared allegiance to hostile elements Shao Kahn and Empress Sindel. Blade attempted to halt enemy advancement, but was overwhelmed in coordinated assault. Special forces were outmaneuvered and the Cage family unit Sonya, Johnny, and Cassie was compromised and taken prisoner. Final status. Operational outcome. Mission failure, Kronika's Keep not secured. Personnel status. Sonya Blade, Mia Perpetuat following Outworld assault. Current intel. Last known location, captured post-assault alongside Johnny and Cassie Cage. Status. Unconfirmed. End of report. Let me know if you'd like this in a debriefing slide format, redacted document style, or adapted as an in-universe official Special Forces dossier.